May 2021, question 3B. May 2021, question 3, boy. May 2021, question number 3, boy. May 2021, question number 3, boy. The question of Bamboo Limited. Bamboo Limited. The question of Bamboo Limited. Once you get it, kindly give me a signal. You can even say Y for yes. Y for yes. You can even say Y for yes. Bamboo Limited. May 2021, question number 3, boy. Great. So we are told Bamboo Limited is currently unlevered farm. So in this case here, we don't have debt in it. It's an all equity financed organization. The firm is expected to generate a constant operating profit, EBIT. Very few examiners will tell you that operating profit is the same as EBIT. Whenever you see operating profit, that is EBIT. So the EBIT is 20 million per annum in perpetuity. The firm's current market value is 80 million. The management is considering undertaking an expansion activity by use of debt financing. The firm's financial analysts have estimated that the present value of any future financial distress cost is 8 million. However, the probability of distress will increase with leverage according to the following schedule. Corporation tax rate is 30%. They want us to give them the current cost of equity and the WACC. Using the pure Modigliani and Miller with the tax model, determine the optimal level of debt, evaluate the firm's optimal capital structure when financial distress costs are included. How many marks do we have there? How many marks for this part B? How many marks do we have there? How many marks do we have there? 14 marks. Those are very, very few. This question is a very, very involving question. Whenever you get this kind of a question, please don't start with it in an exam. If it's SCCA, this should be a case question. It should be 40 marks. It should be 40 marks. So the current cost of equity and WACC of the firm. So in this case here, which firm are we talking about? So Roman 1. We are talking about a firm that is unlevered. A firm that is unlevered. Unlevered. So unlevered firms, ladies and gentlemen, we know that the only people who are supporting this firm are equity holders. So equity support. We don't have debt support. We don't have debt support. So basically it means that total firm value will be equal to value of equity. Because normally we say total firm value is value of equity plus value of debt whenever we have equity and debt support. But here we only have equity support. So total firm value will be equal to value of what here? Will be equal to value of equity. And then how do we get value of equity? We said yesterday, to get value of equity, ladies and gentlemen, you will look at capitalizing the income. And I gave you an example of a person who is getting like 10 million Kenya shillings every year, indefinitely, perpetuity. And you guys told me that Mwalimu, to get present value of such an arrangement, you will take the amount, you divide by what here, somebody? You divide by R. You will take the amount, you divide by R. These equity holders will be getting what amount? These equity holders will be getting, in this case here, what we call EBIT. EBIT. So remember, there is no debt holders, so there is no interest. This question, of course, in this case here, if it is Modigliani Miller, of course, in this case here, we are not going to work with the tax at all. So I will take, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, simply EBIT, and then I divide this with what here? We divide this with KU, like that. We divide this by KU, like that. So EBIT divided by KU. So anytime they want us to get value of equity, we shall take, in this case here, the earnings before interest and tax. This is what these guys will be getting every year. We divide by cost of what year? Cost of equity of the unlevered firm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. Do we have in this case here the value of this company? They have told us this question of Bamboo Limited. The firm's current market value is 80. The current value of this organization is 80. So the current value, remember you said here that the firm value is the value of equity. So in this case here, value of equity, they have given us 80. And then we happen to be having the EBIT of the firm. EBIT of the firm is 20. We divide this by what here? By the cost of equity, which these guys are asking us to calculate. So remember, they have told us here at number 1 to give them the current cost of equity. So for the students who are seeing this for the very first time, this is cost of equity unlevered firm. Cost of equity of unlevered firm. Therefore, go ahead and make cost of equity the subject. So this will be 80 KU equals 20. What about KU, cost of equity of unlevered firm? It will be 20 divided by 80. This is a quarter. So this is 0.25, which will be 25 what year? Which will be 25%. Which will be 25%. Which will be 25%. So, Veronica, you're an admin of our group. I would expect you to look around in those groups, all those groups, where you see somebody saying they have paid, they have done something, add them to the group, and we shall do reconciliations later. We don't want people to be crying in those groups. So in this case here, cost of equity of unlevered firm will be 25%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, then from there, what do we do? They have asked us two things here, and I want you to take a keen interest in this question. These are very, very interesting questions. Even if you have an answer, put those answers far away. We look at this thing from scratch, and you will thank me. So, number 1, they wanted us to give them the current cost of equity and the WACC of the firms. So we have already given them a current cost of equity. So then how about this WACC of this firm, which is unlevered? We know that WACC of an unlevered firm is always equal to cost of equity over the unlevered firm. No, this is not very clear. So we are repeating here that WASHU equals K. So meaning that the WACC of our firm called Bamboo will as well be what here? 25%, and you have earned all the marks. So here, when the firm is unlevered, we don't start saying WEKE. No. If the firm is unlevered, we should always cram this, the WACC of unlevered firm equals cost of equity of unlevered firm. So is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Up to there, are we together? Is Roman 1 now okay? Great. Then we go straight away to Roman 2. So Roman 2, they want us now to apply this Modigliani and Miller with tax model, MM2, determine the optimal level of debt. So ladies and gentlemen, whenever they talk of MM2, there are two things that will always come to my mind. Whenever they talk of MM2, there are two things that will always come to my mind. Two things. Although I'll not use the two formulas, but there are two things that will always come to my mind whenever they talk of MM2. Whenever they talk of MM2, number 1, so Roman 2. Whenever they talk of MM2, I know they're talking of value of a levered firm, which will always be equal to value of unlevered plus DT. Anytime they talk about MM2, we shall always remember this is very, very important. Value of a levered firm will be equal to value of unlevered firm plus debt times tax. This is a very important formula that I must remember. Even if I'm not going to apply this second formula, but I must always remember this other formula in MM2. It says that cost of equity of a levered firm, cost of equity of a levered firm will always be equal to KU plus KU minus KD into D over E, then you take away tax. Whenever we talk of Modigliani and Miller, second proposition, we must always remember these two formulas. If I were you, I would write these formulas and ensure that I do highlight them using yellow. These are the MM2 formulas. MM2 formulas. So like MM2, you can't say EBIT divided by something. No. MM2, first of all, you give us value of an unlevered farm. That's where you begin. And then you come and add the debt tax advantage. That is the first thing. So let's apply this formula. The first formula. Let's apply this first formula. So then value of a levered organization here will be equal to value of unlevered plus debt times what here? Tax. But now they have given us many debt levels. So I'm going to have many value of levered farms here. All right. So then I can see the value of the debt. If you're able to see value of debt, you can see value of debt, it's given there. So we have there debt. So we have their debt. So debt, what do we have there? Debt. So debt, I can see 2.55. 2.5. Then we have 5. Then we have 7.5. Then we have 10. 12.5. Then we have 15 and 20. 15 and 20 like that. So for each of these debt level, I must get VL. I must get VL. For each of these debt levels, I must get VL. For each of these debt levels, I must get VL. And we know the formula, that VL equals VU plus DT. Is there somebody who is able to remember the VU? Remember, after we said VU equals VE. We have already been given the value of a farm that is unlevered. If you read this question very well up there, as Mary Ann is telling us, if you read this question very well up there, we are told Bamboo Limited is currently an unlevered farm. And then we are told that the farm is expected to generate a constant operating profit of 20 million. And the farm's current market value, which farm? Bamboo, which is unlevered, which is unlevered, which is unlevered. It's bamboo, which is unlevered. It is bamboo, which is unlevered. So we'll have to repeat this pretty fast because I've written these two down. So 2.5, we have 5, 7.5, we have 10, 12.5, then we have 15, then we have 20, like that. Please listen. So we have here value of a levered farm, which will be value of unlevered plus DT. And the value of unlevered, which is value of bamboo, is 80-80. So all over will have 80. This does not fluctuate as debt fluctuates because value of unlevered farm, the unlevered farm does not have even any debt. But now when we move from unlevered to levered, then we have the debt amounts, these debts here. So we have 2.5, we have 5, we have 7.5, we have 10, we have 12.5, we have 15, we have 20. So you come and multiply this with our rates. So tax has been given there to us as 0.3, 30%. So then are you able to give me these figures, ladies and gentlemen? Be able to give me these figures, ladies and gentlemen, very fast. Like the first one will be 80 plus 2.5 times 0.3. And all students are punching these figures. Value of a levered farm. So according to Josephat, it is 80.75. Thank you very much. So this is 80.75. Thank you very much. Then you come and give me the second one. Thank you, Veronica. So we have 81.5. 81.5. Thank you. 82.5. 82.5. All right. 82.5. 83. So this is 83. Thank you very much. 83. Thank you very much. 82.25. The next one, 82.25. From there, what else do we have? The third one, I'm told, is 52.05. The third one. It can't be 50 because already we have a base. We have a base of 80. 82.25. The third one is 82. The third one is 82.25. Thank you very much. Sorry for that. And then the fifth one. Okay. 82.5. Thank you so much. Then we go and pick the sixth one. The last one is 86. 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 Veronica gives me 84.5. Please read the question very well. Read the questions very well. If you read this question, Roman 2, using 83 point, there is one that is wrong. Marianne is saying the fifth is 83.75, the fifth year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth. Can somebody confirm? The fifth one. The fifth one, 83 point what year? The fifth one, 83.75. The fifth one. The fifth one is 83.75. Please read the question very well. Read the question very well. They wanted us to use the pure Modigliani and the Miller MM with tax model to determine the optimal level of debt. Optimal level of debt. So they don't want us to go to WACC. We normally use WACC to ascertain optimal level of the entire capital structure. Whenever the examiner talks of optimality of the capital structure, then we work with WACC. But this one is just the optimal level of debt, the one that maximizes farm value. The one that maximizes farm value. And if you remember Modigliani Miller too, to them they said, die of debt. Borrow as much as you can. Borrow maximum. 100% borrowing. And that is why the very highest debt will always be the best. So this is the best value. This is the best value, the highest value, which is optimal value. And therefore, this is the best debt. Best debt. So therefore, optimal debt is how much? Optimal debt is 20 million. Optimal debt is 20 million. Because it's the one that leads to maximization of farm value. It is the one that leads to maximization of farm value. So are we together, ladies and gentlemen, up to there? Are we together, ladies and gentlemen, up to here? So please, I've always seen students here, they are being asked for optimality of debt, and then they go calculating the WACC. No. Optimality of debt, you simply work with farm values. Once you have the maximum farm value, that is it, move on. That is it, move on. But that WACC, Sylvia, does not apply for Roman number what here? Roman number 2. But of course, because it's a cost, you shall always work with the lowest. But it doesn't apply for Roman 2. That now applies for Roman 3, where they want us to evaluate the firm's optimal capital structure when financial distress costs are what here included. So then when we are evaluating the effectiveness of our capital structure, we shall always use WACC. 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 And this question has been repeated severally, like 3 times. The same question. Every time they bring this kind of a concept here, the same question there will always be. So then we go to Roman 3. So Roman 3, they want us in this case here to bring in issues of what we call financial distress. So then, of course, financial distressed organizations must always have leverage. they must always have leverage, because it is this leverage, it is this debt that is suppressing you, that is choking you. So then to get value of a levered farm, with financial distress, we normally take value of unlevered plus DT, but now minus the present value of any financial distress costs. So anytime they want you to get value of a levered farm with financial distress, under financial distress, you take value of unlevered farm plus DT minus present value of financial what year distress costs, like that. And we're going to do this at the various debt levels, which fortunately now we have. So the debt that we have here is 2.55. So we have here 2.5, then we have 5, 7.5. Then we have 10. Then we have 12.5. Then we have 15. Then we have 20. So what I need to do is to come and give them now value of a levered farm, which is VU plus DT minus present value of financial distress costs, first of all. So of course, VU is 80 across. This is 80 across. 80 across, 80 across, 80 across, 80 across. That's our VU. So you say plus the debt amount. Debt amounts are these ones. So we have here 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 20 times tax. And tax is here. Tax is 0.3. Tax is 0.3. Then minus present value of financial distress. You'll always be given financial distress cost one figure. It's always one figure. It doesn't keep on fluctuating. So like now here, financial distress, they have told us somewhere there in paragraph number 2, Bamboo Limited, this May 2021 question 3B. Paragraph 1 starts with Bamboo Limited. Paragraph 2, the management is considering undertaking an expansion activity by use of debt financing. The firm's financial analysts have estimated that the present value of any future financial distress cost is 8 million. The financial distress cost will be the same across. However, so this will be always the same across, regardless of the debt level. However, it is normally expected. You work with what we call expected financial distress because of what here increasing probabilities. As we grow the debt, we expect this cost to become certain as we grow the debt. So expected means what that you involve probabilities. So are you able to see the probabilities being given at the various debt levels? Are you able to see probability of financial distress in percentage there? Yeah. So for example, we have 0.0. So we have 0. We have here 0.0125. Well, that is 1.25%. 1.25%. Then we have a 0.025. 0.025. 0.025. Then we have in this case here 0.0625. 0.0625. Then we have another one here. It will be 0.125. 125. And then we have another one, which is 31.25%, 0.3125. 0.3125. And then we have the last one. So the last one, we have 0.75, very high. 0.75. So then are you able to give me these values? Possibly 2 decimal places will suffice. 2 decimal places, value of a livered farm. So the first one, I'm being given 80.75. You have to move slowly here. The first one, I'm being given 80.75. 80.75. And then we have the second one. So what are we doing? We are taking here 80 plus 5 times 0.3 minus that number, So according to Josephat, we are getting 84.4, right? Whose story do I trust now? 81.4. 81.4. 81.4, the second one. I hope everybody is participating. I humbly requested all of us to be very attentive while doing this question. All right. So we have 82.25, 82.25, 82.25, 82.25. Mauritia, great. 82.05, right? 82.05, 82.05. Thank you very much. 82.05, thank you very much. Josephat is giving me, the third is 82.05, the third one. 1, 2, 3. The third one is 82.05. The third one is 82.05, 82.05. From there, what else do we have? Gladys, I can't see your figures, Gladys. Gladys, I expect to see figures from you. You're the one even who sells calculators to us. So this one is supposed to be 82.5, I'm told. 82.5, 82.5. Grace is giving us the last one, 85.93. 85.93, 85.93. Thank you, Grace. 82.75, 82.75. 82.75, that's the fifth one, and then now the sixth one. Are they 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So the sixth one should be 82 from Veronica. 82. Please, you should not get your eyes off the ball. Your ball is the question. So you go ahead and read again. They want us to evaluate the firm's optimal capital structure when financial distress costs are included. When financial distress costs are included, then we have this as the firm values. So once I get the firm values, the next thing will be for you to give us the weights. Because you see, capital structure, we only evaluate capital structure using WACC, using weighted average cost of capital. So once I've been able to get these firm values, next I will have to calculate what we call the weights. So I need another table. I will need another table. You must make another table. So this table will be a little bit shorter. So the last one I'm being given as 80, I don't know. The last one is supposed to be 80. This is the last one here. The last one is 80, is that correct? Where did 85.93 come from? Sorry, if you made an error, you need to come and check your calculator very well, your calculation very well. We simply take, in this case here, 80 plus 20 times 0.3 minus 8 times 0.75. Perhaps you missed out and wrote 0.075. So 80 has been supported. 80 is correct. So what have we said? After you've gotten the firm values, the next thing that you will have to do, is to go ahead and apportion and give us what we call the weights, which will help us to get weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital. So then come here. Now you're writing their title, weights. We're writing their title, weights. We're writing their title, weights. So now we are getting the weights. Now we are getting the weights. Now we are getting the weights. So now we are getting the weights here. So the weights that we have, of course, we need debt. We need debt. Debt will always be there, 2.5, 5. We have 7.5, 10. We have 12.5, 15. We have 20. And then we have gotten here what we call total value. Total value. Total value is my VL. My VL. So then my VL, I have here 80.75. I have 81, sorry. I have 81.4. I have in this case here 82.05. I have in this case here 82.5. I have 82.75. I have 82. Then I have 80, like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, then I will come and remember very well that this farm value, total value, has got two supporters. We have debt holders and we have equity holders. The two. Remember the assumption and Amodidan Miller is that we have only two sources of funds. Equity versus what here? Debt. Equity versus debt. Equity versus debt. So then we happen to be having the support from debt holders. We happen to be having support from debt holders. Now we need to establish the other column, the other support from these other partners. We have two partners. So now we need to come and give them value of equity. Fortunately, we know that farm value, we have a value of equity plus value of debt. These are the two support systems that we have, the banks and our equity holders. So if that is the case, you will be able to simply come and give me the value of equity here, which will be, in this case here, total value, total farm value, minus, in this case here, value of debt, minus value of debt, minus value of debt, minus value of debt. So then, in this case here, can you kindly do me this favor? 80.75 minus 2.5 gives me what figure? 80.75 minus 2.5 gives me what figure? So 78.25. So we have here 78.25. I'm getting the support we are receiving from the equity holders. I'm getting the support we are receiving from the equity holders. So from there, we have 81.4 minus 5. 81.4 minus 5 gives me what figure? 76.4. 76.4. 82.05 minus 7.5. 82.05 minus 7.5. This will give me 74.5. So this gives me 74.55. Then we have 82.5 minus 10, which will give me 72.5. 72.5. 82.75 minus 12.5. 82.75 minus 12.5. This gives us 70 point. This gives us 70.25. This gives us 70.25. And then we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have in this case here, 82 minus 15. 82 minus 15. 82 minus 15. This gives me 67. This gives me 67. And then we have 80 minus 20. 80 minus 20 gives me what here? 60. 60 like that. Of course, as you realize, when we get along, I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes. I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes. This column is very, very irrelevant. It's very, very irrelevant. Because once I have just this and this, I'll be able to get value of what here. I'll be able to get, in this case here, weight of debt. So can somebody give me this weight of debt? So to get weight of debt, I'm taking debt over total value. Debt over total value. Total value. So can we agree in this case here, you provide this into two decimal places? Two decimal places. Two decimal places to make it easy. So like now you take here 2.5 divided by total value. 2.5 divided by total value. Yeah, two decimal to make it easy. To make it easy. So am I being given like 3% or 0.03? That's okay. 0.03. Is that okay? 0.03. So long as for your revision, you can write somewhere here how you did this to get this for your revision. You've taken 2.5 over 80.7 for your revision. For your revision later, 0.03. And then we come to the second one. So the second one, what are we getting here? The second one. The second one, so many guys are not talking to me. The second one, you take 5 divided by 81.4, which gives me 0.06. So 0.06. So please move on like that. Move on like that. Move on like that. 0.09. Thank you very much. 0.09. 0.09. So next one will be 10 divided by total value. Remember, total value is the base. 10 divided by total value, which will be 0.12. 0.12, 0.12, and then you move on to this divided by this divided by this, you give me an answer, 0.15. So this is 0.15. And then now you're moving to this divided by 82. The total value is the base. 15 divided by 82 gives me what figure? 0.18. So we have here 0.18. And then the last one will be 20 divided by 80. 20 divided by 80. Which will give me 0.25. Thank you very much. So next, I need the weight of equity. The weight of equity. So the weight of equity, you have got two ways of doing this. We know the support we are getting from the equity holders to the total capital structure. So weight of equity will be 78.25 divided by 80.75. 78.25 divided by 80.75. What figure are we getting there as weight of equity? I'm waiting for you. Weight of equity to take value of equity divided by total firm value. 0 point. I think Stanley have missed a 9. 0.97. 0.97. And as I told you, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are very bright. You know that weight of equity should be 1 minus weight of debt. Should be 1 minus weight of debt. If I just took 1 minus this 0.03, I would have gotten this 0.97. What does that mean? In an exam, because I see guys struggling with this, I don't need this step at all. The moment I just get debt and I can see total firm value, then I'm done. Because I'll be able to get weight of debt. And to get weight of debt, you simply take the debt amount divided by the total firm value. And then now you fight now with this thing to the very end. And once you have gotten 1, then to get weight of equity, it becomes like now weight of equity here, it will be 1 minus this 0.06, which gives me what figure? Somebody has already got, so 0.94, 0.91, 0.94, 0.91. Then I can see 0. This lady had gotten all of them, imagine. 88, 0.88, 0.88. Then we have 0.75. This is very easy. 0.75. No. 0.85. I'm saying it's easy and I'm getting a round figure. 0.85. After that, so we have here so we have 0.82. So we have here 0.82, and then lastly we'll have 0.75. 0.75. So remember, I'm en route to getting WACC. I've been able to get my weights of debt and the weights of equity, that one I have. Before I combine, ladies and gentlemen, I will need to get what we call cost of equity. If it's Modigliani-Miller, I know after I've been able to get value of a levered firm, I've gotten the weights there, then I know I will be required to get cost of equity of a levered firm. So I'll have to get cost of equity. Remember, what we have there is scale. What we have there is scale. Whatever we have there as cost of equity, which is 25%, is scale. But we need, ladies and gentlemen, CIFA. So the next step, which we'll be able to write down there, is the CIFA. Remember, this is Modigliani-Miller with taxes. So then I need the CIFA. How do I get the CIFA, my good students? To get the CIFA, we shall take this formula. It is Q plus Q minus KD into, in this case here, debt over equity. Then 1 minus what here? 1 minus tax. 1 minus tax. 1 minus tax. So I would wish if you guys could give me a column for CIFA here. Please give me a column for CIFA here. And for each debt equity level, please give me the CIFA for each debt equity level. You guys have got everything. You have CIFA, you have KD, don't you? You have everything. You have everything. You have everything. So I would want in this case here, a good student to give me, I told you these are very involving question. It's easy. You'll be able to get most of the marks, but if you look at ACCA-P4 book, this question is normally worth 40 marks. It's normally like a case question. So you shall do it, but it shall never be your number one question because it can eat your time. It can eat your time like crazy. It shall never be my number one question in an exam. It will eat your time. You can see we're almost 1 hour. We're almost 1 hour. So now we are getting care, all of us. We are getting care, all of us. So I'm waiting to see who will be able to get it first. Who will be able to get this first? So let me go with this. Let me go with it. Let me go with it. Let me go with it. So then I have the formula for getting KL. So do we know what our KL is? 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 It is 0.25. It is 0.2. Let's make use of the decimals. So 0.25, open brackets, and following this, 0.25. Let me ask you a question. At this debt level of 2.5, do we know the rate of debt interest? Do we have the interest rate at 2.5? It's also called the cost of debt, KD. So Grace is telling me it is 0.04. It's 4%. It's given in that column. They've given us the, so 4%, it is 0.04 into, do we have our debt amount? Do we have our debt amount? So here there are two ways you could choose to work with this debt of 2.5. I'm using this formula. So it will be 2.5 over equity. Equity, we can see equity is 78.25. So I can do without that. 78.25. And then times 1 minus tax. 1 minus tax, that gives me 0.7. Because tax is 30%. Tax is 30%. So hapa lazima ukuwe mvumilivu, uende tu pole kabisa. Lazima ukuwe mvumilivu, uweze kuenda pole kabisa. Ndio upatie correct answer. 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So according to Helen, it is 25.47%. Helen, she's getting here 0.2547. Is that correct? 0.2547 or 25.47%. Can somebody in this case here confirm? Whatever you get is 100. Can somebody confirm? They are confirming that figure. But Mwalimu, you told us that this column is irrelevant. But I can see it is being used there. Imagine you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need that column at all. Or do you think in this case it's mandatory as per that formula? Do you think that column, this column here, these values are mandatory? Are they mandatory? No, you don't need it. Because if you remember very well, this one here can as well be the weight of debt, weight of equity. Weight of debt, weight of equity. So like in this case here, then this would have been 0.25 plus 0.25 minus KD is 0.04 into weight of debt. The weight of debt in this case here is 0.03 over weight of equity, which is 0. Say for rounding off errors, apart from rounding off errors, the answers should be the same. Apart from rounding off errors, the answers should be the same. The answer should be the same. Is there somebody who is able to prove? Is there somebody who is able to tell us that, yes, apart from rounding off errors? Because you see, when we were getting this, we don't know. We don't know. Dennis has confirmed. Dennis has confirmed. Dennis has confirmed that mwalimu here you can make use of what are the way to avoid this column here. To avoid this column, we can make use of the weights. We can make use of the weights. It's only one student who has confirmed in my head. It's only one student who has confirmed. .25. 0.25. If you put 4 decimal places. Put 4 decimal. If you put 4 decimal places, Veronica, what will you get? If you put 4 decimal places, what will you get, Veronica? Put 4 decimal places. 25.46. You can see. Same. The same. Let's put 4 decimal places here. Let's put 4 because the percentage here should be 2 decimal places. Let's put our figures. So then can you please kindly everybody, even at times when you want to help these students here, they can't really understand, you want to help them. You'll get like there's a ninja here who is not using their calculators at all. There's a ninja here who is not using their calculators at all. They're just seated there. So can somebody in this case give me the KL for the second scenario? For the second scenario, can somebody give me the KL? Remember, everything else will remain the same except this debt equity ratio. Everything else. So this will be 0.25 plus 0.25 minus, no. There is also rate of interest is changing because the more the debt, the more the risk, the higher we charge you in terms of interest rate. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, you can see here, the interest rate for this one is 0.075. 0.075. And then we have the debt. The debt here, the second debt here is 5. The second debt is 5 over the equity. We're using this model. Equity is 76.4. Although feel free to use any method here. Times 0.7. Times 0.7. So I'll wrap those figures because I expect you guys now to go ahead and give me these models here. Give me these values yourselves. Give me these values yourselves. I want you to tell them to me in form of 0 point. 4 decimal. Give me 4 decimal places. Give me 4 decimal places all over these figures. I expect you guys now to give them to me very, very fast. So this one is 0.2587. 0.2587. The first one I forgot, it was 0 point something. I'll get it here from your charts. I'll get it here from your charts. The first one, I will get the first one from your 2547. The first one is 0.2547 like that. So how about the third one? Everybody is participating. Everybody is participating now. Everybody is participating now. Everybody is participating now. Everybody is participating now. Everybody is participating. Everybody determine 0.2584. 0.2584. 0.2584. 0.2584. 0.2584. Second one, I'm being told is 0.2584. 0.2584. Second one. So the third one, how about the third one? Everybody is participating. Everybody is a winner. Everybody is participating. Now we are on to the third. Everybody should be able to get this third by themselves. The question, Vincent, we are doing is August, no, not August, but May. May 2021, question number 3B. May 2021, question number 3B. May 2021, question number 3, boy. 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 Great. Thank you so much. I'm not getting guys giving me the third answer. I'm not getting guys giving me the third answer or them asking questions. The third answer, 2645. So here we have 26, 2645. 2645 or 2605. Let's see. Beatrice is saying 2606. Did you apply the tax? I don't know. 2604. Seems 2604 is popular. 2604 is popular. Seems 2604 is popular. Seems 2604 is popular. Maybe we can look at this together. Let's look at this together because we're getting different answers, which is very, very healthy. Which is very healthy. We should always strive to get different answers. Different answers. Always strive to get different answers. 2606 is still good enough. 2606, 2604, that's good enough. So then we have here cost of equity, levered farm, the third scenario. So KU is 0.25 plus KU 0.25 minus KD, the third KD is 9%. So 0.09 multiplied by, I prefer the weights. I prefer the weights. So the third weight of debt is 0.09 divided by the weight of equity, which is 0.91. Because of rounding off errors, we expect, of course, some differences. So as I'm punching this in my calculator, I will say 0.25 plus open brackets, 0.25 minus 0.09, close brackets, times 0.09 over 0.91 times 0.7. What are we getting at the end of the day? What are we getting at the end of the day? Let me just get this. 2606. So Sylvia, I haven't understood your question. Remember the debts, are we not taking the no. You know the pre-tax debt rate? That is cost of debt. That's not like the debt itself. That is the interest rate. That is what we are using inside here. No, we can't use it here. We can't use it there. Okay, this is 10%. Where did I get 0.09 myself? Where did I get 0.09 myself? Allah. Maybe that is what is confusing this lady. So KD is supposed to be 10%. Where did I get 0.09? Somebody must have given me this answer. It's supposed to be 10%, which is 0.1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sylvia. Now, I agree. So is that 0.2604 the correct answer? Now that I've started confusing myself, is there somebody then who can go ahead and give me all the other answers now? Slowly. Give me now all the answers. Give me now all the answers. The left. The answers we haven't yet gotten, please give them to me. Give them to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can see answers have been given here. 2587, 2597. Now, so 2597 here. Are we in agreement? Now this is 2597. Are we in agreement? The fourth one. Are we in agreement with the fourth one? Apart from a few rounding off errors, of course, those are expected. Those are expected. 2595, 97, Usirabiako. Then we have 2586, 2586, 2586. Then we have 2577. Ala. 2588. No, they're very different now. They're very, very different now. They're now 2586, 2577. And then we have in this case here 0.257. Seventh one. How to get the weights. 0.257. Last one. 0.257. 0.257. 257. Now, please listen. Of course, some of you are getting like, you should not feel like you're being left behind. Here, some of you could be getting 2.5, even 9. Because you see, the accuracy is plus or minus actually 0.1. If somebody is getting like 0.01, if somebody is getting 0.26 here, that's still good. That's still good. So somebody is asking how we got the weights. Remember, to get the weights, we have total debt. Total debt, like now the first one here, total debt is 2.5. You divide 2.5 divided by the total farm value. So I have demonstrated here 2.5 divided by this 7.03. So like now here the total debt is 5 divided by this. We got this. To get weight of equity, you take 1 minus whatever weights you have here. So like 1 minus 0.03, you get 0.97, like that. So now, have we finished the question? No. Now we need to do the last table, which is the WACC schedule table. The WACC schedule. Mention the WACC schedule. Now you need to do the last one, which is the WACC schedule. WACC schedule. So WACC schedule, this is what I need. Under the WACC schedule, this is what I need. WACC schedule or WACC table. This is basically what I need. So what I need, we have here weight of equity, weight of debt. We have in this case here, cost of equity, cost of debt. All right. Or just weight of equity, cost of equity. That's a cost of weight of equity, weight of debt. That's what I need. So weight of equity, the first one is 0.97. The second one is 0.94. The third one is 0.91. Then we have 0.88. Then we have 0.85. Then we have 0.82. Then we have 0.75, like that. And then we have here 0.03, 0.03, 0.06, 0.09, 0.12, 0.15, 0.18, 0.25. Then now you can do the Wakaka here. So Wakaka, we know the formula. It is weight of equity, cost of equity, plus weight of debt, cost of debt. But this cost of debt now must be what here? After tax. Cost of debt must be after tax. So I will demonstrate with the first one. The first one, weight of equity is 0.97. Do we have the cost of equity? Yes. It is this scale now here. 0.2547. Do we have weight of debt? Yes, it is 0.03. The first one, do we have KD? Yes, it's 0.04. But remember, this is pre-tax, so it has to be multiplied with 0.7 because of 1 minus tax. Because of 1 minus tax. Looks complicated. To me, it's not even complicated. What makes it bad is the fact that it's long, Very long, very long. Especially whenever the examiner asks about the optimal capital structure. That disturbs very many students because of what here, all the workings up to WACC. So is there somebody who can give me the first value? Is there somebody who can give me the first value now? Oh, well, Beatrice Limo, if you remember, Beatrice Limo, I showed you the two methods. You can use, in this case here, debt of equity directly or even their weights. I used the two methods. And you'll end up getting the same answer. And then we said we shall always use the weights so that we will be able to, do away with that one step. We use two methods and we'll be able to get the same answer. So according to Stanley, it is 0.24. Yeah, the cost of equity we are using here for WACC is the cost of equity that we got here, the CIFA. Remember, our firm is levered. Our firm is levered and even financially distressed. So we have to use the CIFA that we got here. I hope this CIFA that I picked here is the correct one. Marianne, the first one that we got in that table, the first one that we got must have been this. So then this one, according to this ninja called Stanley, we are getting 0.2433. 0.2433 like that. So from there, you go to the second one. 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 So the second one, remember, we have here 0.94 as the weight of equity. Is there somebody who can remind us the CIFA? Anybody who is able to remind us the CIFA? The cost of equity that we got there, second cost of equity of a levered firm. I think you have lost most of them, but I'll be able to find them along the way. How did I rub my table? I don't know what made me rub my table. We have the CIFA, the second CIFA that we got. 0.25, 84 years. So 0.25, 84 plus 0.03 times the second cost of debt given in this question. The second cost of debt given in this question is 6%. If I'm not wrong, the second cost of debt given in this question is 6%. So 0.06 minus the tax adjustment, 1 minus tax, which is 0.7 now. 1 minus tax is 0.7, and then somebody is getting 0.2479 for the first one. First one, 0.2479. I think that is quite a big gap. Let's address that. It's a big gap. So I want us, Marianne, to do this together. Marianne, if you have everything the same, just take 0.97 times 0.254717. And then you say equals. Don't say equals in between here. Because I've always seen students who say 0.97 times 0.2547 plus 0.03 times 0.04 first, and then they say equals. And then they end up multiplying that answer with 0.7, subjecting this to tax, which is wrong. We normally follow this the way it is. 0.97 times 0.254 plus 0.03 times 0.04 times 0.7, and then we say equals at the end of the day. So Marianne, are you able to confirm 0.24? Somebody has confirmed it's 0.2479. 0.2479. Somebody has confirmed. So Stanley, please, let's do this together, Stanley. 0.97 times 0.2547 plus 0.03 times 0.04 times 0.7. We say equals at the end of everything. And then now you tell us whether, Stanley, you're getting the same answers like now we have here. And this question, I would want you to put your answers aside. You repeat this. This is a very good question. And if you think this is the longest, then you haven't seen it until I do the next question. Again, they'll give you the same question like this, But now, these ninjas will come and tell you that, hey, we have beta geared. Beta and geared. So meaning that they want you to go through all the processes here, but this time around using Hamada's model. So they really complicate life of students. But the thing is, I would want to prepare you to a level where you'll be able to get like 75% of them. You don't have to get like all of them, but 75% of the marks you'll be able to get. All right. So I'm being told, I don't know where this ninja called Stanley went. 0.2519 second one. 0.2519 the second one. 0.2519 the second one. So I would want you guys to give me all the others now. Now give me all the others. WD, Beatrice Lemo is saying WD is 0.06. Why am I using wrong answers? Beatrice, thank you very much, because we're also doing this for posterity for our children. We must put the proper. So remember here, the weight of debt, second one. Thank you very much, Beatrice, is 0.06. Sorry for that. Because I'm picking here. Weight of equity, weight of debt. Weight of equity, weight of debt. So please do all the rest and then give me the answers. I write them down. Do all the rest and then you give me answers. I write them down. Second is 24, 54. I used the wrong figure here. 24, 54. 24, 54. That is the second one. And then when you go to the third one, now please give me all the others. Please give me all the others. Please give me all the others. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 24.3. Thank you very much, Winnie Mutwiri. Have you changed your name, Winnie, or is this a new name, Winnie? Have you changed your name here, Winnie? Or is this a new Winnie? Fourth, 241, 0.241. 241. The fourth is 0.241. The fourth is 0.241. The fourth is 0.241. The fifth is 0.2387. 0.2387. 2387. The sixth, now I'm on the sixth. 2388, 87 and 88. Same, Veronica. Don't rub your figure. Use your figure. 2388 is good enough. The sixth one. Two, 365, 2365, 2365, 2365, 2365. And then the last one is 2313. 2313. 2313. So that is our WACC. Our WACC. 2313. They're saying it is 2365. 2365. Oh, no. Let's go slowly. That is those 14 marks are too few for this. Use of different decimal places to differ kiasi, but I'm being told that the last one is 0.2313, like that. So then which one is the best? Which one is the best capital structure? Remember, with WACC, we want, in this case here, to do what? To minimize our cost of capital. We want to minimize our cost of capital. So which one is the best WACC? Which one is the best WACC? Lowest WACC. Which one is the best? The least WACC. I'm being told is the last one. So this is the best, the least WACC. This WACC, this is therefore optimal capital structure, equity, debt. 0.75, 0.25. So this is the best capital structure. So in this case, as a finance manager, I must ensure that my equity is 75% and then my debt is 25%. Like, for example, you see Safaricom saying that them, even if they have gone for a new investment in Ethiopia, they cannot allow their debt to go beyond 35%. Yeah, and they've always been very constant about that. Remember, it was 20%, but now because of the Ethiopia project, they have to borrow more. But they're saying they're capping it at 35. So meaning that they have finance managers who are able to make capital structure decisions like that. Capital structure decisions like that. So I hope that is okay. 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 Of course, it has been quite a rough one. But you have a question. Yes, Grace, please ask. Please ask. Can I allow you to unmute yourself? If you don't mind, you can unmute yourself, yes.
So I have a question. When calculating the WACC of the unlevered farm, we did not less EBIT 1 minus tax. Is there a reason why we did that?
You know, that tax issue normally comes under MM2. Under MM2. The examiner there was silent. Of course, he never told us, but the way the question is framed, part 1 is basically MM1. And MM1 assumes that there are no what year? No taxes. Let's read the question. That's a very good question that you're asking here. Very good question you're asking there. If you read this question very well, so we are told here, number 1, the current cost of equity and the WACC of the farm. Great. Go to number 2. Using pure Modigliani and Miller with the tax model. You know, they're introducing, according to the question, they're introducing what here? Tax in Roman 2. So meaning that number 1 is basically MM1. Is MM1. And the first assumption of MM1 is that there are no taxes. So I hope, Grace, I've answered your question. Great. So it doesn't have debt. So in this case here, then it will not have any tax advantage. Not have any tax advantage. Not have any tax advantage. Yes. So then, at your own time, I would want you to do November 2020 question number 5, boy. November 2020 question number 5, boy. Please. Umenipea kibarua ya kuongoza kusoma. Mimi nakuongoza kusoma. So lazima ukubali nikuongoze. So lazima ufanye November 2020 question number 5B, and I would want to see you sending your answers in our WhatsApp groups. Send your answers in our WhatsApp groups. Whichever, actually our normal WhatsApp groups will be very good. We can also assist those guys who are there. No problem. No problem. So then great. So then I would expect, of course, today to answer